Hey guys, I think it's time for us to move on.
Welcome, Satan. Thank you so much for being here, by the way.
Oh, hey, how's it going?
Yes, I forgot to introduce.
Definitely good to be here.
What are you drinking, Satan?
The blood of the innocent. I don't know if that's...
Hello and welcome to episode 98 of the GameBrew Podcast, the bi-weekly video game podcast where we sip delicious beers, discuss video games, and I think someone peed in the eggnog. I am your host, speaking of, Ian, Eggnog Richard, and today I am joined by Chris, Hot Toddy Wrights.
Does that mean someone peed in you?
I guess, which, don't kink shame. There's no kink shaming on the podcast.
Hey, this is true.
And Dan Ginfizz Rots.
I think it means that somebody peed onto him.
There we go.
Shower.
Alex, old-fashioned writer.
Hi.
Will, hot buttered rum shell.
Oh, man. 3 words that go back to back perfectly.
Hot buttered rum.
Hot buttered rum.
Buttered rum.
And Allison Mulled Wine Van Dievender.
I'm spicy and served hot.
There you go. On the first half of the show, we'll discuss what our boss fights would be. And in the second half, we give our annual Secret Santa video game gifts. But first, it's time for a beer. Chris, what are we consuming this week?
We're drinking a variety of beers that end in Ad Elf. So I'm drinking Mad Elf from Troegs. I actually drank it during the stream. It's a very potent potable at, I think, 11.2%.
Yikes!
11.
Yeah.
I, too, am also drinking a Mad Elf.
And that's why it's mad.
Yep.
It's a little crazy.
So am I.
It's at 11.2%. That's wine territory.
That is wine territory.
But yeah, it's
a mead.
It's a really good beer. It's brewed with honey and cherries.
It's pretty good, but Can I make a controversial opinion?
This podcast is nothing if not controversial.
I don't like Mad Elf that
Oh
much.
no! Round one.
It's not. It's not. It's not my favorite beer. I think it's just kind of like, or maybe it's just this year's. I don't know. It just tastes really strong, but I don't get a lot of flavor from it. And especially since I had Merry Monkey on the stream, and I really liked that one.
Dan, have you recovered your taste buds from all that hot sauce that you consume? Because
Wait, hold on, let me chug this hot sauce over here real quick and see what's happening.
I find it very tasty. I'm getting all of the honey and all of the cherry flavor over here. I think it's delicious. And I still have lots of mixing that I have to do tonight after this, so this is going to make this fun.
Some good mixing.
There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of feel like it's up your alley, Alex, just because it kind of has some of the Saison feel to it.
With a shit ton more alcohol.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Cool.
Yeast, spicy Belgium.
Nice. That's cool. It sounds good. And Allison, what are you eating over there, or are you drinking? I can't tell.
Yes.
Are you like
little bit of
Jello
both.
shots
Allison
or
likes to
something?
chew her alcohol.
Oh,
Got a nice
I
chew
don't-
it.
I don't know if this is a good idea, guys.
As we all learned in college in the tuba section, eating the fruit is always
poor
a mistake.
Is it?
Is a poor decision.
Is it? I've never done anything like this.
Oh, yeah.
We're about to find out. So this is my old Smoky Tennessee Moonshine.
Ooh.
I got it because it's cherry, so it's like cherry pie.
It goes with everything.
and-
My.
Yeah, and also my family, both sides are from West Virginia, and my grandfather used to make moonshine. So, like, this is very appropriate.
Allison,
guess.
you would have played tuba. You would have been a really good tuba player.
Absolutely.
Guys, I can't
Also-
play shit. We've been through
It
this.
doesn't.
I can't play
It doesn't.
It doesn't
Wait,
matter.
For people
triangle.
that didn't play
Yeah,
in the tuba
it doesn't
section.
matter.
Did you say your grandfather made moonshine?
Yeah, that's what I
And-
was told. My dad really likes, like, actual moonshine. He doesn't
That's
like...
cool.
Did he have 2 nephews that drove around a car called the General
Oh,
Lee?
I wish. How cool would that be? No, I'm not, like, horrible television royalty. Sorry, guys.
Horrible television royalty.
hoping that we had some relation to the Dukes of Hazzard, but apparently
Shows we wish that time forgot.
So it's Bernie. That's all I'm getting.
it's Bernie.
You're doing it right. Yeah, it's fine.
I was
That
gonna say,
sounds
that's
about
like-
right with
that's
moonshine.
pretty- yeah.
You just
There's
have
no
a metal
yeast in
straw
it, is there?
into that bottle of moonshine. That's amazing.
Yeah, I don't know what to do. Like, how do you drink this? I was like,
That's
this is
it.
a lovely.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just
just perfectly.
That's it. That's how you do it.
That's how you
If
put hair on your
If
chest
you don't
right
have
there.
an empty milk jug, then you drink it out of that.
It's very Bernie. Like, I like the cherry flavor. I'm a big cherry flavored person. Like a real cherry. I don't like fake cherry. And these actual maraschino cherries, they just burn when I eat them. So I think that's good.
I'm kind of jealous. I wish I was having that, but I'm instead having a very bad elf, which is different from Mad Elf because
very.
of the B as in bad.
And the very.
And the very.
And the very.
So this is
Very bad. He's a very bad elf.
This is produced by Ridgeway Brewing in Oxfordshire, England, and I got it at a what is this store called? It's one of Marianne's favorites, World Market.
World Market.
And
World
Market, and I really like this beer. It's got a ton of flavor. It's an ale. It says it's rich, hearty, flavorful, brewed to an original 1795 Thames Valley recipe. So this is a
Nice.
very old pale amber.
The Thames.
What?
The Thames.
The Thames.
Oh, the Thames.
Yes, the
Oh,
Thames.
the Thames.
And it's got a ton of flavor. It's almost like a pale ale sort of merging on a brown ale. And it doesn't have any of like the crazy Christmas spices to distract from it just being a nice malty, strong beer.
That's like the opposite of this.
Okay.
It's real good.
Yeah, it's the opposite. This has very strong and lots of different flavors in it.
It's like actually a balanced holiday beer. I'm loving it.
Wow.
Wow, indeed.
Yes, because we all could use a little bit of balance during the holidays. Am I right? There's not a whole lot going on.
I am. I've joined. I'm back on the beer train, guys. I brought a beer
Choo choo.
to the podcast this week. I'm
Look at
having.
you go.
I know. I've given
What a
up on.
holiday gift for all.
It's
I've given up on the
it's
trying
Bud
to
Light Platinum.
get back into my non-fat pants.
It's not a beer. It's
this
a
is
malted
not Bud Light.
beverage.
This is not Bud Light Platinum. This is
Thank
This
you.
is a winter porter. That's actually what it's called. It's just winter porter. It's a seasonal ale from Yeehaw Brewery out of Johnson City, Tennessee.
Look at you go. A local
Johnson
beer.
City,
And
Tennessee.
it's really good. It's an English style porter, and it's got some hints of vanilla in it, which I love vanilla. Like vanilla's my favorite. Favorite ice cream, favorite candle, favorite. Vanilla's just delicious.
Favorite ice.
Yeah.
Is it your favorite Sky as well?
Yeah, Vanilla Sky. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you like
Anything
the French
else?
variety?
It's not bad. It's not. I guess the French vanilla is okay.
What about the Millie?
That's vanilla.
The Millie?
That-
the Millie
is
Vanilli?
Yeah, that counts. That counts. Yeah, absolutely.
So how's the hometown beer?
It's really good. Yeehaw is actually really good. They just sort of exploded. They were like regional, I'll say, in our little Tri-Cities area for like a year. And they've expanded. They're down in Nashville now. They're up, I think, around the Virginia Tech area. And they just keep getting bigger and are expanding their distribution. And they do really, really good beer. It's cool. They actually have a place set up in Johnson City where you go into their brewery, one of them, and you can get beer, but they've partnered with a place called White Duck Taco right next to them. And you go in, you can get anything on a taco you can imagine, you can get it. If you want peanut butter and shrimp on a taco, they will put it on there. And so you can get tacos and beer, and it's a really good combination. It works really, really well.
Tacos and beer. Weirdly good. Who'd have thought? So first off today, we wanted to just talk about what we would each be as a boss fight, which I thought was a really interesting
We're not going to be talking about what we're playing?
Oh, but first we have to talk about what we're playing this week.
I I honestly just want to hear Chris talk about Cyberpunk 2077.
That's what we're all here for. I mean,
because here's what I've heard. I've heard that it's not good. I've honestly just heard it's a disaster.
I just want to know how many gigantic wieners he's seen on his screen.
2 is the answer.
Great.
One on my screen and one on Tyler's screen next to me. So I actually chose the modest option, the medium option.
Oh, great.
It's called
Also, there was a glitch where if you chose the largest option uncut, it would glitch through the pants. So that's the state of this game.
That's awesome.
That being said, I put 51 hours in it in 4 days.
Good God, man.
Oh my gosh.
I haven't touched it since last weekend just because I've been super busy, also playing other games that we're talking about later. But the parts that were story-based were fantastic. Mm-hmm. There's some really great characters. So the things that you would expect Cyberpunk to be good at, or the stuff that you would expect CD Projekt to do a really good job on, they did.
Yeah.
Nice.
And the stuff that they're not so good at, they didn't. So, like, the AI is not great. Like, if you shoot one bullet, all the civilians everywhere around will just, like, duck. And like it's, or like there's been a video that I've seen where if you like throw a grenade at like a bunch of stopped cars, everyone will just get out of their car and duck. So it kind of reminds you of that scene in La La Land at the beginning when they're all dancing on their car. But
wow.
So there's a lot of issues that are. I didn't really care that much. Like, I kind of walked into it knowing that there was going to be issues and to just enjoy the story of it, basically. So my plan is to finish it and then not touch it for like a year and a half or 2 years and then play it again. So that
whatever DLC
until the bugs
releases.
until the Game
gone.
of the Year edition comes out.
For those of you who somehow haven't been following Cyberpunk news, there was a ton of issues with the game, especially with the Xbox and PlayStation versions, to the point where people were asking for returns, and the PlayStation version didn't have a return setup possible until later on. So there was a bunch of hand-wringing and sort of haranguing to make that happen. And even in the PC version, just a lot of bugs on release.
Yeah. And like performance-wise, it was fine. Like, it could have been better, but like I could play it. Like, and like most of the time when I saw a glitch, I'd be like, "Oh, that's funny," and then move on.
Really? So by performance, do you mean like fluidity in the gameplay? Because you're running what, like a 2080? What are you running?
I have a 6700K, so like a 4-year-old processor, and a 1080 Ti, so like a 3-year-old top-end graphics card.
Yeah, but man,
at
that's
1440p.
Really... Okay, at 14. Okay, that makes a little.
So I'm
more
not doing
sense
it at 4K.
Chug along. Okay.
And I was at least 60 frames per second. I wasn't maxed out, but I didn't need to be. It was a good looking game.
My big question after you've played it and kind of the way you said you're probably going to play it is like not pick it up again until next year. Like, would you suggest people bother right now? Is it worth jumping on the hype train at this moment? I know you're not disappointed you did.
No, I'm not.
But it's a question of like me. So I was so excited about this game. And then I was really skeptical of the way it was releasing. And then I waited and kind of heard the problems that it's having. And I just don't think I care as much to play it this second as I would in a year. So I'm thinking I should probably wait. Do you feel like that's a good judgment call? Or is it like, just play it now, it's really worth it?
So for me, like, I was really excited for the game. Like, I took time off. I've been wanting to play this game for a long time because I loved the other games that they've made. And, you know, I thought it was going to be Game of the Year. I don't think that anymore. But I do think that there is a lot of things that it does really well. So if you're going in thinking it's going to be like another GTA 5 type game that's in the future, in like a cyberpunky future, it's not that. It has some of those elements, but like the world itself is not as polished as, and like just the things, like it doesn't feel as real as GTA 5 does. But like the world building, if it's a little different, like the stuff and like the history and the there's just a lot of really cool things that they thought of for it. Like there's something called brain dances, which are kind of similar to in the Arkham games where you break down some crime scenes. It's kind of like that, but even more freeform. And like you have different filters where you can see like thermal or hear things or like just get different angles from things. But like just the whole idea is so cool, and I really loved the first time I did it. And like I'm looking forward to the next times I get to do it.
Well, I've loved the conversation everybody's been having in the Discord about it, by the way. I just want to shout out to our community. It's been really great to discuss the game and kind of Project Red and how this affects them. I just thought that was really cool.
It makes me feel a little weird because like I feel like I'm always defending these games that like I'm just like, I don't know, I'm just having a good time with it.
I like it.
I did the same thing with Fallout 76. I had a good time with it. But like I recognize that it's broke as fuck. But
I've heard of both sides. Like I've honestly heard more people with your side than I've heard with this side. Our Discord has I think we're a lot of critical gaming thinkers. Our community is, because that's who a lot of us are too. So a lot of times it's hard for us to just sit back and enjoy things for what they are.
Yeah. Well, and I also think it's probably healthy for Cyberpunk 70 or for CD Projekt Red to like have a little bit of a loss here. Let's pump the brakes on them being like the next best thing since sliced bread, because leading up to 2077, there was just like this media frenzy and everyone was talking about how cool this game is going to be and how original and like yada, yada, yada. And to see them kind of like be taken down a notch, I think that is going to resonate with them. And I think in like you heard about even like the earnings call for the stock, there was like a lot of upset of employees. Like, I hope those employees are heard, and I hope that their viewpoints and their constructive criticism is implemented in the future to make CD Projekt even stronger, right?
And other companies.
For sure. Yeah. For sure. And I hate to see that. You know, I was going to buy it, but I'm only running a 1060, the 6 gigabyte graphics card. And when I started seeing these issues, I could probably run it, but I actually I didn't buy it specifically because I didn't know what I would run into on my PC with that.
Are you 1080p or?
Yeah, I'm 1080. So I'd probably be okay, but I'm not that far ahead of a PS Pro. So I was like, I don't know.
But you can tweak a lot more than a PS Pro.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, with consoles, the big problem is you can't mess with a lot of things in it, which is why like I'm playing Control right now, and on my Xbox One, because it's on the Game Pass, and it crashes every hour and a half or 2 hours. Yikes. Just because there's too much shit
exploding
that
on
the screen.
PS4, and I was like, no, not having this. No way.
Chris, are there any good boss fights in 2077?
No, because they're not fighting me.
The
I was going to say they haven't really fought me either. So
all right. So Chris, what would your boss fight like? What do you think your boss fight would be like?
Sure.
If we were fighting Chris, what would it be like?
All right, I'm going to take you guys on a little bit of a journey.
Set the stage.
Yeah,
set the stage.
Imagine that you enter our room. It's uncomfortably cold.
Ooh,
just like not
already.
Uncomfortably cold, but just a little bit. Just like
where's my hat?
Like it might be 65 instead of 70. You like it at 70? It's at 65. That's where Chris lives. You know.
Okay,
I like sitting at a nice solid 60.
That's like where my feet start to sweat. What? Damn.
So you enter the room. It's pretty dark. There might be a little bit of mist going around. You hear some slow jam band music starting to play. That signals you only have 20 minutes to finish the fight.
It's a 20-minute boss fight?
That's how long the song is, dude. So in the center of the room, you just see a bright light. There's a table, a pillar actually, with an unbuilt PC in the center of it. You walk to the center of the room, get to the pillar, and you just hear a distinctive laugh and some squinty glowing eyes and a floating, tangled, bearded face appear in front of you. And then on the floor, there's some brownish gold liquid that starts rising and falling, as does the pillar. So you have to kind of move around with it. It's beer. It makes it a little sticky, but it can't touch the computer because that'll ruin it.
Yep.
That'll ruin the computer.
So
be careful.
hops smell everywhere. The jam band music's starting to go, and you know what you must do. You must finish this PC before the long jam ends while dodging the waves of beer, going up and down, while avoiding the tangled tentacle-like beard of Chris.
That needs to be in PC Simulator or PC Builder Simulator.
Can I use that for my Dungeons and Dragons campaign?
When we go back to our last save, Chris can't go first. I can't follow this.
The boss is too tough. Okay,
I've been thinking about that for a little bit. This was my topic idea, by the way.
What's funny, we can't tell. Allison, I feel like we all have an idea of what the Allison boss fight would be, and like I feel like Allison's boss fight is probably the most flexible of all. Like you could be anything. You're so pan genre that like you could be any boss fight. Do you think that you would live in a specific genre as a boss?
So I thought about it, and I don't have a really good story set up, and I'm so pissed I didn't create a room or anything. God, guys. But so I just thought about that too, because like I'm so weird and eclectic, and I'm all over the place with my tastes and interests that I don't know what world exactly I live in. But I do know in all games I'm normally a healer, right? And I'm normally a supportive role. I feel like I would be maybe if I went full tilt evil villain, I would probably go the exact opposite and be a necromancer.
Ooh, I like.
Who would just like revive the dead. But I also do feel like so I give myself like a really witchy like necromancer vibe, lots of timepieces on me because I am the time mistress,
Of course.
Clearly a BDSM outfit, that's the only thing that I need to whip.
Clearly.
I need a whip, guys.
Just black leather, stilettos.
Gotta do it, gotta go full tilt into this character.
Yes,
Yes,
bullet,
Chris.
please.
I've got an idea. What if you had to kill your other teammates and you were healing them, and if you healed us up all the way, you lose?
Dude, that would have been perfect. See?
Yeah. And I also...
Just make all of our boss fights from now on.
Well, the thing about the Allison boss fight that also came up for me is that like support thing would always mean that you like no matter what you were, you would have henchmen. So you'd have to like fight the rogues gallery of Allison
Gotta
to
get
to
Gotta get
Allison.
those ads out.
And that's
Creepy in
where
it?
all of my undead minions come in, right?
That's right.
Yeah, it's like Destiny. It's like playing Destiny 2.
The strongest of
It's just
which
a bunch
would be Xena.
Of course. My hellhound. Duh. I gotta have my hellhound.
But just imagine her like kind of like just plopped on the ground with like a sword and a shield and like a little tiny
Because she's a
helmet.
warrior princess.
And she's just
duh.
and she's got the spinny thing then. She's got like the round thingy and she throws
But
it.
then
But she's just sitting there because she's a dog. So she's just sitting there like holding it. Just like
And I also really like
dog
want
face.
that moment where you've almost killed me and then I do a full heal. Because that's so annoying.
it's like no.
That's like the most obnoxious, pissy-offy moment that gamers ever have against a boss. Which we shouldn't, because we heal ourselves how many times during a battle? Why can't the boss do it
true.
once? Right?
it's just not fair.
It's only fair.
It's just
Yep.
it's just
Doesn't
not
feel
fair.
good.
And I play on the side of fair but not fair. So that is something that needs to happen. And those were the features I knew I needed in my boss fight. So
If you had to choose a genre, if I had to choose one for you, I'd be like, she's a WoW raid boss. Done. End of story. But if you had to choose a genre for you,
I put myself more into like Resident Evil horrorverse just because
interesting.
of my theme I was going with.
With something that gory and violent, you could have like a cool stiletto
horrorverse.
curb stomp.
It's true.
Oh,
and I think like when I think about me, like I'm an old school WoW girl. Like I loved that and I love my MMOs. But underneath it all, what I always come back to are horror games. Like that is definitely my happy place, which I don't think most people know about me meeting me immediately, but that is my happy place. That's where I'd put myself.
Cool.
Me like it.
I like it. We all know that Alex is clearly the most threatening person on the podcast. I mean,
Yeah, he's pretty.
Fair? Everyone picks him to win any battle.
Well, he's the only one that's been through boot camp, so
That's true.
I mean, just beyond that, I think we all know he has more tactical wit than a lot of us for a lot of things. So
it's true.
don't act like he's a sleeper here.
No, I'm not.
He's a
acting like
sleeper cell. That's what he is.
Oh, maybe that's. Are you like a spy, Alex? Is that your boss
The activation word is bag of donuts.
Oh,
So
it has to
I
include
don't-
eating a whole sleeve of Oreos.
It does. I could definitely out eat whoever was going against me.
Challenge accepted.
Oh wow! That means we have to do a throwdown. I'm sorry. Next episode, we're doing an eating competition.
Let's
You two
do
get
it.
ready.
All right. We'll discuss this later,
Yes.
Alex.
I like this.
This summer,
So
One man, one woman, a fight to the death.
One desire.
a chow down to the death. One will enter. Wait, no, two will enter. One will leave. Both will void their bowels.
I really like Scarecrow in Arkham, and I feel like if I
If I were a game boss,
But it would be like a bunch of tangled cords and cables.
Oh no!
oh man. Well, and I was thinking like
Ooh, that's good.
one of the features of my battle would be melodies would play, but it wouldn't. I would stop it before reaching the penultimate chord.
Oh,
And so
That
like
is pure evil.
it is.
I like
is.
it.
But I don't know how I would incorporate that into a certain style of game.
Maybe it's a rhythm. Maybe it's like a rhythm game.
Yeah.
Yeah, could totally be.
Or it's a skateboarding rhythm boss battle where you have to
man.
grind on the rails and like do tricks.
Honestly,
as it's like
why isn't this
they have
already
to
a
finish
thing?
the song to beat me or something like that?
Like why
Yeah.
isn't this already a thing where it's a skateboarding game plus a rhythm game and it's like all ska music, but you have to do your tricks to the beat? Like this would
That's a
sell
cool
like
idea.
hotcakes.
Okay. All right. So going back to our Discord conversation,
Yes.
I think one of the greatest windows of opportunity that Cyberpunk has opened for me has been thinking of Cyberpunk as a music genre, and then I think it was Coffee or someone mentioned cyber ska,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah, I think it was coffee.
yeah.
and
Cyber ska.
I need to start a cyber ska band
Yeah, you do.
so badly.
I mean, that would be
I mean,
really
if you
cool.
do it over the internet, isn't it already a cyber ska band?
That's a good point.
That is
That's
true.
True. You just need more
extra
synth
level.
keyboards.
I do want to point out that there is a game called Sayonara Wild Hearts that Katie played.
Oh, Sayonara Wild Hearts, yeah.
Ian, did you play that when you were here last year?
I played it with Katie, and then I also bought it on my own to play through on my own because it was so fucking good.
And that's
I listened to
kind
the
of-
soundtrack occasionally. It's
yeah,
good.
and that's kind of like
That's true.
skateboarding to a soundtrack.
It's absolutely true.
Yeah.
That's the closest real thing. It's a good point.
Wait.
Sayonara Wild Hearts, great game.
Sayonara Wild
It's
Hearts.
got
I really-
I gotta look that up.
Queen Latifah. Is that true?
Yeah, Queen Latifah is one of the
The
voice
narrators
actors.
or something?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought she was like the boss that you were.
She is a boss.
Latifah.
I kind of saw
She's bringing down the house.
like Alex as before he decided what he was going to be. In my head, he was either going to be like the skateboard boss you have to be, because I relate Tony Hawk to him so much, you know. So it's just like that's the video game of choice in my head
I
for
know.
him.
He's like our Tony Hawk beat reporter.
It's
and
true.
for more on Tony Hawk, we go to Alex and Tony
It's
Hawk
true.
and Alex.
But then I went like more. He would be the skater in a game, but this is more like a Parappa the Rappa boss, except with on the fly mixing. And then when he said that whole thing where the song gets to a point and then just stops, I was like, that's the perfect boss in something like a rhythm game where you're like, you're in it and you're ready, and then he changes the song immediately on you. And so I really feel like this is a good boss style for you.
It's pure evil,
like it.
too.
I like it.
That's good.
We could call it early 2000s wedding DJ.
Perfect.
It's funny because it's true.
Dan, yours I always imagined being like Metal Gear Solid, like Psycho Mantis situation where like it's incredibly complex and interesting until you figure out the thing, and then it's just super easy. Like that's the Dan fight.
Well, I have a very different idea.
Okay, tell me.
Of what I am. So mine is basically, you know how in You know how there's a thing called in some games where you have to do something
Called a boss rush.
That's kind of what mine would be, except it's all of the different characters that I play or like the voices that I do.
Oh,
Which,
I like that.
So like you walk into a room and it's just,
It's like you thought that you had finished me, huh? Well, get ready for this.
and then I turn around and then all of a sudden there's like it's like me in my first form, which is just like normal Rot's Rage. So, like punching, just the regular
Rot's
like
Rage.
punching attacks you have to dodge. And then you get down my health like a third, like a quarter of the way or something.
Johnny Two Hammers.
Johnny Two Hammers comes out. He's like, "Oh, you done did it now!" And then so like my fists become two giant hammers. And then the smashes get really hard. And then the mandatory fun commissioner comes out. He just starts throwing different BDSM products at you.
I like that you and Allison have like a cross-universe
Yeah,
connection with
Yeah,
the
we do.
BDSM
Yeah,
products.
we're in the
It's
same
good.
game. It's the same game.
Well, I
probably.
mean, I am clearly in a very serious relationship with the mandatory fun commissioner.
Serious, semi-committed.
But who would be the final boss?
The final boss would probably be editing Dan, whoo's just like
Oh, God.
who is just like it's just me with like I've got computer like a face for a computer, and you just see like different audio clips and things popping out at it, just like, and it's like cut that, whoosh, and there's like giant like slices that come through.
It's just a
Things like
series
that.
of
But basically
non
it's like
sequiturs
Ninja.
coming at you at full speed.
yeah,
but it's
yeah,
just Fruit
just like yeah, just quips. It's just quips. Just come in with banter, funny banter, things that he says, random thoughts,
Blah, 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 blah.
and every once in a while you just hear me go
Make it an intelligible sentence.
I like it, Dan. I like it.
I approve.
Good.
Thank
it's
you.
good. I like it.
It's very like Scott Pilgrim for me.
Yeah, it is.
Dan
I like
Rush,
that.
we'll call it.
Is Will? So Will, you don't get to talk yet. Everybody.
Wow.
So
I sort of
so-
expected this, so go ahead.
So I feel like here's what I feel like. I feel like Will is either like a sniper who just like you just see the glint and then you get like immediately murdered and you have to like it's not even about fighting the boss, it's literally just about like from dodging from cover to cover.
Okay.
Or it's like some hilarious like random sort of surgeon simulator sort of situation where you have to like take apart his insides and rearrange them to make him real.
That I see the connection he's going for
Right.
here. I see what he's going for.
Because Will's a doctor.
Wait, what? Wait, what? What is happening?
So here's my thoughts on what my boss fight would be. I feel like, and you're gonna have to hear me out on this, that I would be like a Demon Souls boss, as a reverse Santa. So like I sit on a throne.
Where's Santa?
I'm sitting on a throne all the way at the end of this map, and you just fought your ass off to get to me through everything, and along the way you found something to bring to present to me. So when you get to me, you present it, the way you beat me is you present it to me. And what you're presenting to me is a video game that I will enjoy and that will spark joy with me. And it's just a repeated series of me like, no. And you die and you're back at the beginning again and you have to fight all the way
Maybe he'll
back
like
through.
This. I bet he'll like this. No.
And then you have to find a different game at a different part of the map, bring it back to, and I'm just like, no.
Love that.
That's perfect.
Just over
The only
and over
answer
again.
is Counter-Strike.
no.
The only way to win is not to
You have
fight.
to get one of the 3 games he actually enjoys right now. And that's very difficult. You have to know one
It's
of
either
those
Mass
3
Effect,
games.
Counter-Strike.
Those are the always. Yes.
I don't know. I don't know what my boss fight would be. No, I have no idea.
What?
I thought about this and like I could be like I feel like I could be a Dark Souls boss maybe like a Gwyn maybe, or I could be a like more like a Fury like from Hades maybe.
You could be
don't know, though.
you could be like the one dude from Final Fantasy VII Remake who, when you ride the bike, like on the motorcycle, where you're like driving along and you have to slash at him a bunch of
That's true.
times.
I could be a motorcycle boss. I could
But
do that.
no. He's a motorcycle boss character who flips off of his motorcycle at the end before, like, you get into a stage 2, right? And stage
Yeah.
2 is like in the middle of a forest on side of a mountain, and now he's going up the side of the mountain and rock climbing, and you have to beat him
It's like-
to the top.
It's like, man, he's so
See,
fast.
I feel like-
He just crashed on a motorcycle. Ugh.
And then when you beat him at the top, you're like, I finally did it. Like, I'm done. But no, then there's a phase 3. And there, you have to beat him in trivia. Like, just a really intellectual game. Because there are so many pieces of Ian that I feel like it has
Cue
to
the
be a
Sephiroth
multi-stage
music.
boss.
Yes.
And I think that all of that would have extremely intricate, detailed martial arts fighting as well.
During
Like
the
the
trivia,
fight-
maybe.
During
Yes.
during the trivia.
with the sound effects from Absolver.
But
Yeah, it's Absolver. It's playing Absolver.
I
Yes.
still love Absolver. Don't hate
Yes.
it.
but there would be a very, very classic soundtrack in the background, like sweeping strings and just I don't know,
Yes.
very grand.
As the person fighting you is answering trivia, you have to fight them with hand-to-hand combat while they're answering like questions.
Oh, okay. Got it.
That's how I
Got
always
it.
answer my trivia.
Yeah, you don't do karate while you
With
do trivia.
hand-to-hand combat. That's why he
Your
only
answer
goes to
offends
each
me.
trivia night once.
All
Like, you really have to
perfectly
go. I'm
composed.
sorry, sir.
Perfectly composed to that classical music, including the karate. I love it. Yes.
Oh, that's hilarious. All right, folks. What do you think your boss fight is? Let us know in the Discord by going to bit.ly/discobrew. That's going to be it for our first half. Stick with us.
Yeah, we should.
Oh.
Yeah, we should probably move on.
Yeah.
We gotta go to the second
Yeah,
half, guys.
when we come back, we are going to do Don't Tell Satan, guys. Don't tell Satan, but we're going to do our Secret Santa, which is not a good friend of Satan. I'm sorry.
Well,
Did you guys say Secret Satan?
Yeah, I said Secret Satan. Secret Satan
Secret Satan.
presents.
Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
All right, great.
Hello and welcome to the GameBrew Podcast, episode 98. It's the second half. How's the beer sitting with you? I have to say, I really appreciate this very bad elf. And thank you, Satan, for that awesome. I mean, just being here is huge. So
Isn't
many
it
people
nice of
follow
him to
you on
join
Twitter.
us on the Christmas episode?
It was. I mean, it's my favorite time of year. I mean, when everyone writes gifts to Satan Claus, it's the best one.
How can I ask you, how happy does it make you that we've taken Christmas, a holiday about Christ, and made it all about money? Does that really work for you? Like, does that feel good?
Yes. Oh, yeah. The greed level of hell, super full right now. Just super full. It's great.
I have a question for you, Satan.
Yes.
Are you the one that sent the little drummer boy to the barn where Jesus was sleeping?
Yeah, I was trying to really like get him to not go to sleep.
Got it.
But I don't know, I guess it didn't really work.
I always found that interesting that there was a random drummer boy that showed up while there's this little
Wait,
baby trying to
you
sleep.
don't like percussion when you're trying to sleep, Alex? That's the only way.
Really, who does? All right, I'm gonna let you guys get on with the episode. We're gonna go over
All
here.
right, thanks. Take it easy, man. Be well.
Yeah, that's fine, yeah.
Stay safe. Yeah.
It's really hot over here, guys.
I can't.
Like,
It's warm. Dan, are you drinking a Mountain Dew? That's not beer.
that's probably why.
Yeah, that's definitely why.
Okay.
I was really sleepy earlier. Give me a break.
Guys, I know that Mad Elf is 11%, but this 7.5% very bad elf is doing its work, and I'm enjoying it. It's great. But boy howdy, I'm hammered.
It's a fun
I
time.
just like it
fun
gives you
time.
the rosy cheeks, you know. Just
Well,
like Santa.
I have to admit, Allison learned today that fruit in liquor makes you real drunk. I'm feeling it, and I didn't know that. I've never eaten fruit out of liquor, so.
And that's the great thing about the GameBrew Podcast.
Give me
You
the
learn
booze
something.
right now.
You learn.
I'm feeling
And
it.
you're getting healthy sugars from the fruit.
It's true.
Yeah.
This is really healthy, guys.
Yes.
I'm being healthy.
Getting drunk and fighting scurvy.
Mad Elf review. Anybody? More thoughts?
Yeehaw.
I stand by my previous statement. It's okay.
I love it.
It's not my favorite of them. So
It's good.
I think it's great. I'm enjoying it and I'm feeling quite good.
I can't feel my tongue.
Will, how's the?
The Yeehaw was delicious. It's gone. Like, I keep bringing it up here just to like try to like suck out some of the vanilla flavor, like just from the can. But it's gone. It was good. It was excellent.
I'm glad we have Beer Will back, guys.
Yeah. So one of the most time-honored traditions of this incredibly ancient podcast is it's the season and the tradition of giving. I think it's a beautiful thing. And what we do is we give games that we either think that people will like or they'll hate, so that we can either gift them or torture them with making them play a game that they'll hate. So, Alex, I want to hear the game that you gifted, why you gifted it, and we will just go on from there.
So I gifted Allison Roki.
Roki.
Is that how you pronounce
Yes,
it?
That's
I know
how I
this.
pronounced it.
These are the small circular vacuums that sort of just wander around your room.
Nope.
Yes.
No, it's Loki's other brother.
Oh, Roki. Yep.
Yes,
Good
yes.
one.
Yes. Nope.
Is it the guy with the Hadouken?
With the Kamehameha
No,
thing?
the Hadouken. Is that him?
That's Goku.
No, I think it's Riku.
Oh,
No, Riku.
Ryu?
No. Ryu.
Alex, can
Ryu.
you help us
Ryu.
with
Is it
this?
the
'Cause I
throat
feel like
lozenge
Hold on.
from Sweden?
Hold on, I'm here for you all. Riku is from Final Fantasy.
Right. There we
Ryu
go.
is from Street Fighter and goes, Hadouken!
Yes.
And then, what was the last one you said? Goku.
He also goes, Shoryuken!
Goku is from Dragon Ball Z, and he does a Kamehameha.
Ricola is the throat lozenge, but the game
Yes.
is Rico, and
It's
what
actually
is it?
Roki.
God damn it!
Roki.
All right, we're batting 1,000, guys. We're doing so good.
Best episode ever.
We got this, you all. I'm just so proud of you.
Don't you know?
So I gifted this game to Allison because it's a stunning looking game. I love the artwork. It's very much along the same lines as Abzu or that type of game, but it's a little more almost like construction paper cutout, like
I
dimensional
love that.
type of style art.
Yeah.
It looks really cool. Strong female lead character. It's an adventure game, and I know that Allison takes on a lot on her shoulders, and so I thought this would be a fun way to relax and kind
Beautiful.
of unwind.
You're so
How
sweet.
kind of you.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
And so, what did you think? Yeah.
I adore this game.
Oh,
I really do. Like, when Alex gifted it to me, I did my best to like not look at anything about it until I played it first on my stream on Friday. And I'm really glad I waited. I thought about like trying to get through any tutorial or anything before I streamed it because I know that can be boring. But it looked like it jumped right into the story, which it did. And gosh, guys, I can't express how gorgeous this game is. And all the little subtle things it does that other games don't do that just made it more immersive and beautiful. Like it would put trees in the foreground that would cross your vision so you can't see anything for a second. And although like in your head, in most games that would be just obnoxious, in this world, it just like brought me in a really beautiful way. Like you said, it's more like paper cutout kind of art style. There are no hard edges, no black lines on anything.
and when you say, when you say adventure game, are you talking about more like an old school sort of like Indiana Jones, sort of like LucasArts adventure game? Or are we talking more like a Lara Croft kind of adventure game? Like what kind of adventure is this?
It's less action based.
Okay.
It's more of an adventure style game, like scavenger hunt kind of
Got it.
idea.
Yeah, puzzle solve kind
A
of
little
thing.
puzzly where it's like you find this and it's going to help you later with this. and you can't do this yet. You need to wait until you find something to help you with this. So it's very casual as far as like walking through this world, which makes it really pretty. The story is like kind of eerie. It's very like intense. I guess I wasn't expecting it based on the art style. I kind of expected something more light, and pretty quickly you find out the mom's dead.
Oh wow!
And you're living in this cabin with your dad and your little brother, and then you basically kill your father. So I mean that happens right at the start.
That escalated quickly. Wow.
But it's like built to be this like impossible situation where you can't really save him in the scenario you're in because you need to protect your brother.
I see.
So it's you're being attacked by a monster immediately, and you just don't know what to do. You're a child in this world, and all you've done is swear to your mom who died that you'd protect your brother, and your dad says, you protect your brother, get out of here. So you just kind of have to.
Wow.
Right.
That's
so it's
deep
like,
real fast.
Real deep, real fast, which I wasn't expecting when I immediately saw this game.
So yeah, some of my concerns, like with a beginning like that, it can feel really cheap if the game is just using that for like a quick like burst of emotion and then doesn't follow up on it with good character development, with good dialogue, with good plot. Does it follow up with that and it feels like genuine and something that's actually a usable story point, or it's kind of just like a smack in the face to get you going?
I'll admit that you don't get a lot out of your main character. That was one thing I was expressing during the Twitch stream that I was hoping I would get later, I guess, where all these characters around her, you can tell she cares about them, and that's kind of all you get out of her character is like she's just running around trying to protect these people, but I know nothing about the character I am beyond that.
Got it.
So it's a little messy. Like her brother then is abducted, so then it's just her trying to like solve things, and that's really where the story begins, if you will. And you have to go through this mythical world, and there's time-lapse things. There's lots going on. But the world's gorgeous. I love the little, like, side character minions. Like, there's a troll called Trollhilda. Love her. Love her. I just want to keep her. Like, it makes me care.
Trollhilda?
It makes me care about these little momentary side characters I'm not getting much out of, but I love immediately because they're so characterized and gorgeously created.
Now, how linear of an experience is this? Because it looks like part side scroller, part like forward backwards. I don't know that I would say full on 3D. I could be wrong on that.
Yeah. No, it's very side scroller, but you can kind of like go into backwards areas, and then it gets you into another side scroller kind of environment. It's very linear for sure. I would say that's a downfall for people who like more open world experiences. It's very go here, go there, move in that way. But it's really beautiful. Really love it. Suggest it to anyone out there who loves just gorgeous story, interesting characters, and that kind of like hunt and find adventure-y game. It's really, really amazing.
Nice.
Love it, Alex. Thank you so much.
That's beautiful.
Would you? I mean, typically on the GameBrew, we do give it some sort of like ranking out of
how many Christmas
something.
trees?
So
how many
eggnogs?
How many holly berries?
I was going to say
how many Nordic folklore characters?
Well, I was going to say we do have our special time guest Satan, so maybe we should make it, like Satan.
How many
cookies.
sixes?
I do like Satan-shaped cookies. They're the best type of cookies.
I'm going to give it 9 out of 10 Satan-shaped cookies, only because I haven't finished it. But I adore so much about it. There are so few things I'm finding flaw with. Everybody who was watching too said they had no idea they were watching me for 2 hours. Like, this game's so immersive. You lose yourself in this world. So, awesome. For sure, good game.
Okay. And who and what did you gift to whom?
I believe you know that, sir, because
I believe I know that. Okay, so
I gifted you.
It is me.
I gifted you, and I gifted you Super Meat Boy.
Okay.
Which, here's why I gifted it to you.
It's not that, Chris.
Here's why I gifted it to you.
Nice.
I find a couple of you very hard to gift on this podcast because I know what you like, but I don't know what you like that you haven't played yourself.
Yeah.
Already.
Yeah.
And Ian was one of these people, and I just looked through his Steam library, and I was like, I don't see it, and I'm banking on this, but it's a platformer that's deceptively hard.
Yes.
Which is a very Ian thing. He likes his hard ones. but it's also real cute and weird. And
Yeah.
and Ian tends to like those, and it has humor to it. So
Right.
I was really hoping this game was as wonderful as I wanted it to be for you.
So
Damn.
No.
Shot and miss.
listen,
huh?
Allison, it's not me.
It's not meat.
It's
not meat.
It's not you. It's meat. Is maybe the way to say it.
Damn.
Okay, so there are things to like about this game, and I certainly don't want to shit all over it. I think that the tightness of the controls, the really unified, clear vision of what the game should be, those are really big positive things that lots of developers miss. Super Meat Boy is a very tightly constructed platformer that is 100% brutal, but that also has some really cool stylistic things going on. But I think where it fails is there is an overarching narrative, but it's shitty, and I'll tell you why in a second. So that's one. and then two, there's not like enough time for me, and this is maybe a personal thing, to feel like the game is getting better or more interesting, or I'm getting better at the game in a way that feels meaningful. So the way it's delivered is in these really bite-sized levels. Like literally a level will be 12 seconds long. A long level in Super Meat Boy is like 25 seconds.
Holy crap.
They're short. And so it's kind of this very technical exploration of platforming where it's like, not only do you need to like jump here and then jump there and then jump there, but you need to be doing it at this speed at this particular time, or else you're going to be immediately murdered. Now there's a couple of cool gameplay things here where like, because you're made of meat, you just leave like blood/meat juice everywhere you
Meat
go.
chunks. Meat chunks.
Especially if you die. So as you're playing one level, you can sort of use your meat leavings, we'll call them, to either inform where you should go or where you shouldn't go. So that's like a nice built-in visual gameplay mechanic.
That's actually
right?
kind
Makes
of
sense.
brilliant if you think
It's
about it.
right. Like
Yeah.
that's probably the best stroke of brilliance with this game. And like the controls for the platforming are really good. They're very, if you've ever played Spelunky, it's very similar to Spelunky, where like a trigger hold means that you're running, a long press on jump means a higher jump. And it's really, really, like, I really think tight and precise is kind of the best word. The thing is, these levels are so short that it's kind of like if this were a browser game when I was in middle school, it would be the best middle school browser game ever. But it's not that time, and this shouldn't be that thing. The overarching story is basically like Super Meat Boy is saving the bandage princess from this bad character, and this is what really gets me. Every single time you complete a level, and I tell you every single time, you know how Bowser like shows up at the end of a Mario level and like takes the princess to like the next castle or something? Mm-hmm. In this version, the top-hatted manacled man shows up, punches the princess in the face or some other way assaults her, and then goes to the next level. And at first you're like, ha, like awkward laugh. And then you're like, okay, this is just not right in a way that makes me uncomfortable, and I don't want to see happen every single time. They can't just like swoop in and grab her to the next thing. No. You need to show up, slap her across the face, and then go on to the next thing.
That's disappointing because when you describe it, it's like I picture this hilarious comical thing because it's so cartoony.
And they're trying, I see what they're trying to get at. Like there's this Binding of Isaac sort of lo-fi cartoon vibe to it that they're trying to make happen. But with Binding of Isaac, what they're doing is they're taking an incredibly gory, difficult, dangerous topic and making it cartoony so that it can be a video game, right? Like Isaac is all about a mother horribly abusing her children and locking them in the basement, and then them having to become monsters to escape that basement. That's a compelling story. And here what we have is, for no particular reason, the woman in the story just being slapped in the face for yucks. And that is not great. It's not a good look in 2020. It's not a good look in any year. But
the bad news is they're coming out with a new one in 3 days.
Well, so I hope they change that, because it's meat.
Super
so there really aren't bones here. But it has good bones. It's just that this is not something that I want to continue to play. It doesn't feel rewarding. The story such as it is, feels very.
It has good
hackneyed.
meat.
It's got good meat. We'll say.
Good meat.
Hopefully, the sequel has a little bit more substance.
A hit and a miss. How many Satan cookies?
I would give it 2 Satan cookies because they did 2 things right and the other 8 wrong. Well done.
And a case of
There's only enough
Satan.
Satan cookies for me to go nom nom. I'm not okay with that.
So, who'd you gift?
So I gifted a game called Outward to Dan, and I got this for Dan because I personally am really curious about this game. It got super mixed reviews, and I wanted to have someone I know and trust experience it for themselves so that I could know whether or not it's worth playing. Chris is giving me
I feel
the
untrusted.
why not me hands.
No, I have it, and I feel untrusted.
Oh, well, I mean, Dan's opinion is clearly more important than yours.
But the
Chris over here
so-
thinks Cyberpunk 2077 is good.
Oh, yeah, fuck that guy. That guy sucks.
No, I mean, okay, so I get why there are a lot of people that like this game. It was okay. It's kind of the opposite problem. It's kind of the opposite thing that your game had, Ian. Like, your feedback loop was super quick, like where it was like a 12-second level. It's done. You did it. You made it through the level.
Yeah.
Right? This one's really, 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 really long. So I think I played an hour. Well, the tutorial missions, number one, it's basically this game, Outward, excuse me. Outward is kind of like a third-person crafting, survival, fantasy, role-playing, hack-and-slash RPG, which is a lot of things.
It's a lot of words.
It's a lot of words.
That's Outwards.
But basically, imagine a massively multiplayer online role-playing game. So imagine that, but with no other people. And no map markers or anything to tell you where to go or what to do.
Okay, so the intention that I've heard from this game is that it was to make it like more difficult and immersive. Did you feel that?
It is. I didn't feel immersed.
Okay.
I felt that it was definitely more difficult. Like, it was very hard. I did the tutorial stuff in about 15 minutes, and then I spent the next hour and a half leaving the main town where you start, dying, waking up in either a bandit camp or the main town again, going, well, shit, I guess I gotta figure out where the hell I'm going all over again. And then I go up and do it. Now, I will say it was kind of, it was good at, like, the crafting stuff makes a lot of sense. Like, you have to find different crafting materials to build new stuff. You have to find recipes. You can randomly combine stuff, but you don't necessarily know what it is. So that was really well done. The stamina and like health stuff is really well done too. So whenever you're like, if you're thirsty, you have to drink stuff or else your health won't regenerate. If you're hungry, you have to eat stuff or else your health won't regenerate. And like the stamina stuff, like if you run for a really long time without sleeping or like do a lot of things without sleeping, your stamina bar like gets shorter and you can only recover so much stamina, which is really good too. It's just that there are quests that you need to do. And the first ones were, you have to pick like a faction to go to. Here are these 3 places. They tell you what the places are in like the dialogue where you got the quest, but then there's not really a way to figure out where, like, specifically where it is or who you're supposed to talk to after that. So some of the world stuff isn't my favorite. And I think if there were some sort of like way marker or something like that, it would be a little bit easier. There are on the map ways for you to put stuff places. So it is very difficult in that you have to remember landmarks. You have to say, okay, I'm here. Chris was listening to me play it, and he can assure you I was saying, okay, I'm over here. There's a road that goes this way. I should probably go that. That's a mountain. But in general, I mean, it was good it's really hard and good for what it is. It's not necessarily my cup of tea, but I can appreciate what it is, and it does what it does really good. I just wish there were a little bit more things, kind of a few more handholds in it.
Okay, interesting. How many Satan cookies?
I'm going to give it a solid 6 Satan cookies out of 10 Satan cookies.
That's a pretty decent amount of Satan cookies. I can accept that. That's fine. Thank you for those Satan cookies.
Good.
You're welcome, Satan.
Okay, great. And what was the game you gifted, Dan?
Oh, and I gifted to our friend William the game Finding Paradise, which is the sequel.
Finding
to...
Nemo.
No. No, it's the sequel to one of his
Paradise
favorite
Lost.
games.
No,
Also no. To one of his favorite games, because I know he loves story, and I know he loves all of these, all of like the things that kind of make him like me. Like I was like, oh, I tear up a little bit. It's like, oh, it's so good, it's so good. So it's the sequel to the Moon.
Oh yeah.
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 It's called Finding Paradise. So I gifted that to
Oh,
him.
I'm so interested to see if he decides to yeet him back to start or if he accepts this gift.
Oh, this gift. Dan has defeated Reverse Santa.
Wow.
Oh man, it is so. I don't know an episode number, but find the episode where I talk about To the Moon, and you will understand how much I love Freebird Games and Ken Gao with what he has developed in his method of storytelling, and that continues 100% in Finding Paradise. It is so good. So the premise is, if you're not familiar with the games at all, you play as two doctors who you register for their services, and when you're on your deathbed and you are hours from death, they come in and they basically sort of inception themselves. They tap into your mind, and they have to work through your memories in reverse to create a reality for you that you always wanted. So you can fix your regrets, or if you wanted to be an astronaut or whatever, they go through and they build that in your brain in such a way by going through your memories to where it feels real and connected, like it connects through from point A to B to C to D all the way through your timeline of your life to where it feels and is real to you, and you create this whole new narrative for yourself right before you die. Nothing is new. The gameplay is exactly the same. You move around, you click on stuff, and you solve little puzzles, and that is it. It is incredibly simplistic gameplay. I would go so far as to just say this is an interactive story, and that's it. But the way it progresses through the story, without giving anything away, is different. And that's all I'll say about that, because the way it progresses through the story is different than the first game.
What's great about this is it seems like it's so precious to you that you like can't reveal any mysteries. It's like, this is great, go play it. I don't want to say anything else.
Well, it is, and these are wonderful games for people who, I think if I played this when I was a teenager or in my early 20s or something in college, I wouldn't appreciate it, and I probably wouldn't like it as much as I do now. But I mean, as you get older, like we all experience loss or death in some fashion. Like we're all in our 30s now. We've at least started to experience some of the like things that happen as you go through different stages of life. And this game really hits hard for that. This is a game where the older you are, the more I think you're really going to relate and understand all the unspoken narrative and storytelling that's happening that sort of supports the dialogue that's written all the way through. And oh my god, the music. So Kenny Gao is a musician as well, in addition to a game developer. He takes these childlike instruments. There's like a bunch of like Orff instruments and like multicolored xylophones and shit like that. Like he takes that and he crafts this beautiful soundtrack to what it is you're doing. And at times it's haunting, at times it's very childlike, but it's always just beautiful music. And when I started it up, like I clicked play on Steam, and like I just had this huge smile on my face as soon as the music hit, because it was so familiar and new at the same time. It was just so wonderful. It's amazing.
Very cool. And what did you gift to?
How many Satan cookies first?
Wait.
Oh,
no,
sorry,
how many
Satan
Satan
cookies.
Well, I'm not done
Sorry.
yet, but I mean,
hungry.
I can already tell you, I would give you 6 out of 6 Satan cookies.
6 out of
Wait,
6.
we all did a scale of 10. Will, why do you have to be
666.
weird?
No, I'll take it. In fact, you know what? Add one more 6 on there and you get bonus cookies.
So I gifted a game to Chris, and this was strategic. Chris is really, really hard to pick.
Strategic.
games
Mac.
for. Yes. He is really hard to pick games for. So I picked.
He's got every game.
Well, yeah. Well, I knew he was going to be. He's got every game, and then I knew he was going to be like just going ham on Cyberpunk 2077. So I picked Partisans 1941 for a couple of reasons. One, it's a totally different style of gameplay, less fast paced, like it's strategic. You have to think and stop and slow down and plan what you're doing. Also, we went from the future to like way in the past. So I thought I'd give him a big change of pace and hope that he enjoyed it. So we'll see.
All right, Chris, what did you think?
First off, where'd you find it?
I dug through your Steam library. I had that up on one screen, and then I was scrolling through my phone looking at all the Steam games. Like, does he have this? No. Does he have this? No.
That's really funny. So it combines. So Partisans 1941's an interesting game. It combines a lot of elements I really like, and that's the reason I was asking because I had never heard of it before, and that's surprising to me. But basically, it's like it's kind of like a tactical game, like an XCOM, but it's real time. You can hit the space bar to slow time down, but it's not as robust in combat as like an XCOM. But that's because that's not the point. The point is that you're in occupied, I guess, part of Russia, and there's just a lot of German and police or like turned German police that you're trying to avoid combat a lot of the time with, and you have limited resources, so limited amount of bullets. So a lot of what you're doing is you're sneaking up on people, stabbing them, and dragging them away. It's all kind of like top down.
So it's kind of like a company of heroes sort of thing.
Not like the game Company of Heroes.
Yeah,
not really, because Company of Heroes was like
it was like an RTS.
Yeah, that was an RTS.
Oh, so, that's what I was kind of thinking. Sorry.
So it's not really an RTS.
Commandos.
Yeah, it's more of like an XCOM style. Like you have certain members of your team that all have different specialties. They can level up and get further into a skill tree. You can equip skill trees. You can equip different weapons to them. So like shotguns, rifles, assault rifles, pistols. Different people. There's one guy that can like basically blend in. He'll walk slower, but like he can't really do anything. He can just kind of use that to walk past German guards. So like everyone has like their specialty. And so a lot of the time you're trying to be sneaky, and then once you finish missions, you kind of go to this outer world, and it kind of has like the like a lot of mobile games have, like where you send people on missions to do different things for the day, but it doesn't have like the time limit. So like you'll send people to get more supplies or increase your experience or do all these different things to like just build up your camp, and then you'll go on another mission. So it has a lot of really cool things that I really like. There is a little bit jank in it. That was frustrating.
Little jank factor.
There is a little bit of jank factor. So like I would hide a body, and then suddenly that body would pop out of the building that I hid it in. And then I would be seen, and then I would lose the mission. And at the same time, Dan was playing Outward yesterday. I was playing this, and I would be like, motherfucker. And he'd be like, what? And I was like, I got seen.
I got seen.
Someone saw me. I got seen. So like that part is frustrating, but like there's good meat to it, if you know what I mean.
Like it creates a stressful environment and kind of like builds that world for you.
It has some really good ideas. Just some of the stuff they implemented was done really well. There's a lot of interaction with the environment, and it rewards you for not just going in guns blazing.
How hard is this game? Because I tried Commandos a long time ago, which is really similar to this, and it was hard as hell. I just couldn't play it.
I'm playing on easy, and it is not easy.
Okay.
So yeah, Satan cookies. I'll give it 7 Satan cookies out of 10.
Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah. So I mean, I think it hit all the right buttons for me.
Got it.
Yeah, but there were frustration points.
Understood. And speaking of frustration points, what did you gift?
Oh, I gifted something nice. I gifted something really nice.
Aren't you just the best friend?
Yeah. Well,
so nice.
So I gifted something to Alex, and back in the days of college, a game that we used to play a lot was Arkham Asylum. And I don't know if Alex ever got to play it. He just saw us play it a lot. So I wanted to fix that, and so I got him the entire Arkham collection minus Origins.
Oh, dude, that's a nice gift.
Yeah. So, I don't know. He likes Batman, and he likes that style of games, so I figured it was the right thing.
Yeah.
All right, Alex. So tell us about the Dark Knight and how you felt about it.
I love the game. So it's a very digestible game. It's easy to start from the beginning, and they do a good job of making it more difficult as the game goes on. I actually rolled credits on it last night. So I did
Arkham Asylum?
on Arkham Asylum.
Wow.
Wah, 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 wah.
Yeah, you burned through that
Good
quick.
job. That was
Yeah.
applause, sorry.
Blah, 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 blah.
So I'm excited to see where the rest of the Arkham games go after this.
Oh, you will appreciate it, I'm sure.
And I talked with Chris a lot about this week, but there are some things in the game that show its age. Like the fighting mechanics are a little clunky. And I was telling him it's the hardest thing in the game is jumping over a wall. It's like the hardest thing in the world. And there's one boss fight where the Harley Quinn can electrify the floor, and you have to jump up to another level that isn't being electrified to stay
I
alive.
know exactly. It's got like the two platforms and then the one.
You're on like
Yep.
honeycomb
Yeah.
things. Yeah.
Yeah. And I died a couple times just because Batman wouldn't go over the damn
Frickin'
wall.
thing.
God damn it,
to the next
Batman.
one.
God
But-
damn it, Batman.
But it, as a Batman comic lover, it's cool because it's a cast of the best bad guys, because after Batman arrested them, all of them ended up in Arkham. And so you see Joker throughout, you solve Riddler puzzles throughout the entire game. And I like that aspect of it a lot, actually. And that's what I'm going back and doing now is...
Or like all the Riddler trophies.
Yeah, trying to get all the Riddler trophies and the Arkham, not the tombs, but whatever they're called.
Yeah,
The-
there's
the,
definitely.
like,
I
spider
remember there
things.
being like tons of collectibles. Like there's a million things to do on this map. That's just a prison, right?
Yep. Yeah, and there's a whole bunch of different, like the medical facility is different than the penitentiary. The mansion is different, and there's different things you can do in those. And for me, because I was able to get through it within under 15 hours, but it was very. But I think that a lot of that goes to what I said originally. Like the game's just, it's digestible and you get sucked into it. And I think that
you want to like find out the. It's like a comic. It's like I want to see what happens.
Yeah.
Like I want to see what happens at the end of this.
It plays very much like the comic. So I appreciate.
Yeah, they did a nice narrative job with that.
Yeah, that's still my favorite one of the three.
Also, the fact that Batman is like the Batman from the animated series, and Mark Hamill's the Joker.
Oh yeah, Mark Hamill.
Such a good
is
Batman, or such a good
he-
Joker voice. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
The best.
he's
the best.
incredible.
Yeah, Greg came. So yeah, spicy Santa cookies.
I would give it 9
Sorry,
out of 10 spicy Satan cookies.
Nice.
That's awesome. Yeah, so the thing that I love about this is that, Christmas is really a time of giving, and this is a really cool way for us to give to our friends. Whether or not we liked it, it's just like an opportunity to talk about something new and fresh, and that's super wonderful. So I'm looking forward already to next year. If you out in the Game Brewverse are gifting game things to your friends or your people, we want to hear about it. Hit us up, let us know on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter. Tell us what you're gifting in the game world. We want to see it. We want to know about it. And come chat with us in our Discord at bit.ly/discobrew about the bosses and whether or not we hit that nail on the head. Is our boss fight right or is it wrong? Let us know. I don't know. But I think that's going to be it for us tonight. So I say goodnight, everybody.
Holidays.
Oh, happy holidays.
Yeah, happy holidays, everybody.
However it is that you celebrate, we celebrate that celebration. And let's say goodnight, everybody.
Good night,
Good night, everybody.
everybody.
All right, and episode done. That was pretty good, you guys. How'd you feel? How'd you feel about that?
It was pretty good.
It was great.
You know what?
It was tough.
Look,
I would give it a 666 out of 666. What do you think about that?
Chris, I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Satan, look.
Yes, yeah.
I'm going to level with you. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I can do this anymore. I know you've got connections. And I'm just saying, like, I think I'm bigger than these guys. Like,
But as your producer, I don't know why you hired Satan as your producer, but you guys did go overtime, so I do have to take one of you to hell. So
Take KG.
finally, you have reparations for going over.
So when you come back to the show, like I do have something that's gonna like not sit well with some. Like we pride ourselves on good audio quality. You know, Alex spent a lot of time training, but like you've got to back off the microphone. Like,
it's a little loud.
well, no, it's really bassy.
It's really busy.
It's like
So-
really bassy.
It sounds like you're taking Will to hell. I'm glad we all decided.
You know what? I think that's really what's going to happen. All right, Will, here we go. I'm just going to grab you and take you down. Here we go.
Hey guys, where'd Will go?
Don't worry about it.